I'll pass you over into the capable hands of Mr. Stephen Leheck.
Okay, firstly, to begin, I'll read from the notes so I get this bit right, if you don't mind. On behalf of the bridesmaids, page boy, and everybody gathered here today, I'd like to thank John and indeed David for their kind words of praise and acknowledgement. Can I add my own welcome to you all, and thank you for helping make this such a happy occasion for two very special people, Sally and John. I think you'll agree it's been a perfect day, and for that extra special thanks to go to those people who have taken a special pride in today's proceedings and making it a perfect start for the happy couple. Now it is my duty to read some cards and telegrams that have arrived as I aid. The first one, a telegram, a wedding gram no less. Our love and best wishes to you both. Sorry we can't be with you. Ray and Bridget Neja in Spain. To John and Sally, wishing you a wonderful day and many happy years. Love and best wishes, Hilary and Barry. John and Sally, wishing you love, luck, laughter and a wonderful day. Congratulations. We'll be thinking of you both on your special day. Our best wishes for your future happiness. Love, Marion and John Coxall. And to John and Sally, sorry we can't be with you. Have a great day. Congratulations. Best wishes for the future. Ray and Sterling. To John and Sally, sorry we can't be with you to celebrate your marriage. With all good wishes for your future happiness together. Have a wonderful life. With love from Ian, Melody, Ross and Alex Johnston. Which finally brings me to, with love to you both on your wedding day. Dear Sally and John, sorry I can't make the wedding, but I'm sure you'll look beautiful. Today will be lovely and you will live happily ever after. Lots of love, Margaret and Brian Dickens. Now then. Handsome, intellectual, diplomatic, sincere, honest, with a rapacious wit. Just a few words of introduction for those of you who don't know me. And can I say what an honour it is to be John's best man today and have the opportunity to say a few words on this historic occasion. Historic, obviously, because of the event that's taking place, but historic also because it was this day of no other, in the late 1950s, that Fidel Castro started his 26th of July movement to overthrow the Batista government in Cuba. Now, I'm sure John and Sally will be trying a few 26th of July movements of their own later on. But there'll be no radical overthrows, not with John's back, anyway. Now, I received a piece of advice, but I'm sure it was someone in the sweepstake. They said, look, Steve, as a rule of thumb, don't make your speech last any longer than it will take John to make love to Sally on their wedding night. Well, we're already running about 4 minutes over. And I must say, in the last minute amendment, I did promise the bridal party there wouldn't be too much sexual innuendo in this speech, so if I come across anything else, I'll just whip it out, okay? Now on to the more serious stuff. On to the more serious stuff. John's been a friend, a great friend, for, well, as he said, 20 years now. We first met at the age of 11, the hallowed grounds of Archbishop Tennyson's Church of England School down in sunny South Croydon. You are the alumni gathered here today. And I remember that first day very clearly as I was ushered into the form room. I was in Temple House, and there's a few chaps who are Fisher here. And I remember wandering into Temple form room, and there, centre of the room, a golden Adonis, surrounded by friends, telling jokes. People are hanging off his every word. Girls loved him. And I thought, I'm so nervous, I'm going to have to wander over to a slightly quieter, darker corner of the room with all the specky, spotty loners. But I met John over there, so... We soon blossomed. A couple of years later, we were going out on a double date together, no less. This is how our friendship grew. I took the lovely Sarah Goat. She's got a couple of kids now, you know, John? And John took the beautiful Janice. We took them to the fun fair. And then we got there, John being a perfect gentleman. Janice, what would you like to do? Walter? No, I'll just come to get weighed. 5 minutes later, Big Dipper, I've just come to get weighed. back and forth to the Funfair scales all night, just waiting to get weighed. She was all the time. He said to her, "How was your night?" She said, "Wobbly." During the sixth form years, it was quite important. The sixth form years was very important for John because he was very successful in both areas of his life, the football and the academia. And while most people have to give up one for the other, he was very successful in juggling both areas of the life. And he said to me, indeed, one day he told me, he said, "You know, the endless discussions over semantics and the influences of Wilkie Collins on Dickens and, you know, supply-side economics theory that Wally Downs talks us about the Crystal Palace training ground set me up beautifully for English literature." And so then came the difficult decision whether to continue with his footballing career in the south or to follow his academic heart up to the north. It was a decision made slightly easier by friends and family telling him the 400-mile round trip to Lancaster would be good for us. So up he went to St Martin's, Lancaster, that hallowed seat of learning. And again, we've got a few of the boys, as you've already met earlier today. And John struggled a bit. You might have got the impression these are big drinkers, and, well, solid drinkers, I'd like to call them. But John struggled. He was a teetotaler. Football was his life. You know, his body was a temple. He kept the boots on the outside. And he really didn't know what to do when he got into the student bar at JCR. So he thought he'd give it a go, wandered up to the bar, thought the barmaid couldn't understand his accent when he ordered 2 slices of whitbread. But he eventually got there with his personalised tipple of a bitter shandy top with a dash of lime. From St Martin's, where he gained his honours degree in English with a touch of drama thrown in for good measure, the old Queen. He took on the world of professional football, a few years at Crystal Palace before moving up north to play in the Scottish Premiership for St Johnstone in Perth. And then decided that he had enough of the world of football and he's going to come back down south into the bosom of friends and family and kind of dilute both careers, if you like, playing football for Dover with on a semi-professional level and also embarking on a career as a teacher. And it was at this point that he thought, well, if I'm coming down to Kent, Steve's a teacher, he lives in Kent, why not share together? Fantastic. So we looked for a house and found a perfect oast cottage on the land of the ennobled Lord and Lady Monckton of Brenchley, no less. And so there we were and thought, well, seeing as we're here, we've got to do our bit for foreign and international relations, you know, discuss the affairs of the day. So in the evenings, we'd invite round the assistants from our school, you know, to come back and have a bit of discussion. And then one evening when we had the French assistants round, I remember quite clearly, the lovely Antoinette was sitting next to me. And I leaned across to her and I said, "Antoinette, what are you looking for in England?" To which she quite boldly replied, "A penis." Now, I was quite shocked. John, in like a flash, with his normal diplomacy and grasp of language, said, "Antoinette, my dear, in the Anglo-Saxon tongue we say happiness." And then we moved to our second home. People were starting to get worried. So would you if you'd looked up to the top window and seen John stretching off in his tight whites. The only problem with the second home being that there was only one bathroom and it was off my bedroom. So John, again being a perfect gentleman, said, "I know what I'll do. I'll get myself a chamber pot so I don't have to disturb you in the night, to be kept under his bed for just the proper occasions." Some of you remember this. This is a true story. The only problem with it was he didn't know his fault. His thumb got warm. Now, and it wasn't long after that John met Sally. As he said, it was in a bar, introduced by mutual friends. He cocked an eye at her, she cocked an eye at him. There they were, cock-eyed. And their relationship bloomed. It was clear to everyone who saw them together, as John said, they had each found the one. And once they realised it, it brought us neatly to where we are today. And if we need any more confirmation of what brings people to this happy state, let me offer you some words from that great statesman and writer, Benjamin Disraeli. "We are born for love. It is the principle of our existence and its only end." We're here today to celebrate the marriage of two very special people, good friends, good family, good fun, but above all other and perhaps more importantly have found in each other and with each other that principle of existence. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding to toast the happy couple, the new Mr. and Mrs. Budden, John and Sally.
John and Sally.